Hey there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks so much for clicking on my video. I'm Emily Summer. I am a wedding planner based in Montana, and I make weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice. So today I wanted to bring to light some of the things that either my past clients or friends or just recent brides, basically just anybody who has planned a wedding in their life, what brides would change about planning their wedding. So I'm going to do this in a two-part video. So today we're going to talk about what they would change in the planning process of a wedding, and then the next video we'll talk about what brides would change as far as at the actual wedding and the reception. So let's dive on in. Okay, number one, really hone in on your vision early in the planning process. And this is especially important if you plan on DIYing a lot of things at your wedding so that you're not having to redo anything. So a lot of people go into wedding planning with maybe a concept already in mind for what they want to have at their wedding, as far as your colors or your style or something that you always envisioned you would have at your wedding. And then it comes to the time that you're actually planning a wedding and your taste and your style might change, and that is totally okay. But you want to figure that out before you get into any of the really big decision-making steps in the process, so that, like I said, you're not having to redo things. So do a lot of brainstorming early on, figure out if what you envisioned is still something that you would like to see 5-10 years down the road and be happy about. And if not, find a different direction. Number two, don't assume that just because something worked or you saw it at somebody else's wedding is going to work for you. Whether that be decor related or how somebody did their flowers or actual things they had planned into the ceremony or reception. Don't try and copy somebody else just because it worked for them. So if there's something that you liked that you've seen at another wedding or maybe on Pinterest or something, have the conversations that you need to with your vendors or with that friend. Talk about how they were able to achieve that. I've had people come to me with these ideas that they have seen other people do, but not taking into consideration certain venue restrictions. So just do the necessary research and ask and have the necessary conversations you need to have with your wedding vendors if there's something that you would like to do without just assuming it's going to work for you. Number three, overestimate timing for just about everything. And this is something that I purposefully do whenever I create a wedding day timeline. I always add in buffer time. So that is, when you're getting ready, that is your photo schedule, that is going from the first dance to the garter toss and everything else in the reception. Make sure that you're allowing yourself some buffer time and over exaggerate things, the amount of time that things are going to take. This is also true in the planning process. So if you're shopping for a wedding dress or shopping for your bridesmaids' dresses or anything that you are counting for shipping time or completion time, if you are having, custom signs made or anything like that, overestimate timing. Give yourself plenty of time so that you aren't stressing out at the last minute. Number four is researching photographers. So there's a lot of photographers in our area, and I'm sure that's the same wherever you might be as well. There's a lot of wedding photographers, and that's a great thing. What's difficult about this is that sometimes it's hard to choose, and it's hard to understand, the differences between different wedding photographers and what you're getting with one photographer versus another one, and what to expect, and their style and their editing style and all of that. So make sure that you're spending time really researching them, finding as many portfolio items as you can, stalking their Instagram, asking past clients about their experience with them, and spending a lot of time researching them. I've had past clients or friends of mine that say if they could change anything, it would be doing more research on their photographer in order to get those photos that they wanted to have all over their house. A friend of mine who spent a decent chunk of money on their wedding photographer, and they don't have a single one hung up in their house because they didn't end up even liking them. So don't let that be you, and make sure that you are researching your wedding photographers. The fifth thing that brides said that they would change about their wedding planning process is researching the prices of vendors before booking them. This will help to alleviate any surprises that might come up as you're booking wedding vendors, but also help you get an idea of what the range might be. So perhaps you find somebody that you really like on The Knot or Wedding Wire, and they quote you a certain price and you don't know any better, so you book them. But then you find out that your best friend hired a vendor in the same area for half that price. If you're already in a contract with a vendor, there's no going back. So make sure that you're doing the necessary research prior to booking to understand all the costs that will go into each wedding vendor, not only to help you with your budget, but also to make sure that you're getting the vendor that you want for the price that you want. Number 6 is hiring a coordinator. I, of course, have a lot to say on this topic, but I can't tell you how many times I have heard the number one thing people wish they would have done differently at their wedding is hiring a coordinator. So this doesn't have to be a huge expense, and understand the difference between a coordinator and a wedding planner. I'm not telling you to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a wedding planner, especially if you can't afford it. But if you're able to find a coordinator in your area just to step in for the wedding day and kind of the weeks leading up to your wedding day to help make sure all those last minute items are checked off of your list, and giving you an opportunity to just kind of relax and enjoy your wedding day without having to keep an eye on the clock and make sure that things are running smoothly. And it really just helps to allow you the opportunity to just be more in the moment on your wedding day and enjoy things as they're happening, rather than making sure that they are happening on time and communicating with all the people involved while you're trying to spend time with your family and enjoy this really, really big day. The 7th and final thing brides would do differently about planning their wedding is to not listen to other people's opinions and not try to please anyone but you and your partner when it comes to your wedding plans. Of course, a lot of people will have family members that are pitching in to help with the wedding planning, and they feel obligated to kind of oblige to what these family members might want at their wedding. And while I understand that, there could be some compromise here. So don't be afraid to speak up and let people know something that maybe makes you uncomfortable at your wedding. Or if it's not something that really speaks to you two as a couple, having the conversations with those individuals, letting them know that that's something that you really don't want at your wedding, or don't feel comfortable with, or don't find it necessary, or don't want to spend the money on, or whatever it may be. Have those conversations early on. You know, it's impossible to please everybody, and I feel like every couple deals with this at some point in the planning process, trying to please everybody. And just remember that this day is really about you, and of course you want all of your friends and family there to have a good time, to treat them well, but don't make any decisions based on other people if it's not something that you're happy with. So there are 7 things that brides would change about their wedding when it comes to the wedding planning process. Stay tuned for next week, and we will dive into what brides would change about their actual wedding. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to get weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice.